Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Tiny Brains podcast. I'm Kevin Joyce, CEO at Tiny Brains, and with me, as always, is Peter Graham, the Brigadier of Brains at Tiny Brains.
Hello.
So, what we do on this podcast, for those that are new here, is we take a look at the biggest stories in XR from the previous week. And this week, or last week rather, was quite a big week in XR.
Quite right. It was quite a big week, wasn't it, Kev?
It was. It
Mm.
was indeed. So we're going to jump in with some big XR news. Another new headset. We had a bunch of new headsets revealed at CES at the start of the year, and now we've got another one. Now this one has been teased for quite some time,
Yeah,
but
well,
it looks
that's
good.
it. Yes. I'm going to spoil it there. Project Moohan, wasn't it, from Samsung?
It is indeed.
And in actual fact, it was it was partially announced at CES because people got their hands on it. There were people playtesting it. But last week was Samsung Unpacked, wasn't it? And we got our first proper glimpse of what the headset's going to look like. It's the near final version. So Samsung have said it's not the final consumer version or prosumer version, but we have had a look at it. And it looks quite pretty, doesn't it, Kev?
It does. It looks like Apple Vision Pro if you took the Pro off, basically.
It
I like it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of how a lot of these headsets are looking as well. They're very similar to the Vive XR Elite as well, and they're all going around this very similar sort of design ethos, especially after the Vision Pro as well. So yes, we it looks very nice. We only saw the headset. There's no controllers, so we still don't know what the controllers look like. But everyone's raving about it, and I'll put a few pictures here so you can see what it looks like. So, and this is going to be one of the headsets that's running Android XR as well.
For which there was also news from the Google camp, and this one's quite interesting, I think.
There was, yes. Google has acquired a Vive engineers from HTC. They paid HTC a cool $250 million to nab some of their engineering talent. So it's like, yeah, come over here. You're going to start working on Android XR. This is to accelerate Android XR, which is a good thing. I don't know how it leaves HTC though.
That's the question. I mean, it's very interesting that Google are investing, and there is a discussion to be had about Google's penchant for launching products and then killing them off as soon as they, a year later or whatever else. That's a discussion that needs to be had, and it's a discussion that is being had on social media right now. Go nuts. Interesting, however, is where it leaves HTC. Now, we could argue that a lot of the fundamentals have already been built at HTC, and so maybe they don't need these engineers anymore. Maybe they were willing to, or maybe they were desperate for a cash injection to keep this going. It's really hard to decipher which side of the fence we're going to sit on here for HTC. We all love HTC. We all love Vive. They've made some great products, but they are not the market leader that they once were. No.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a cash injection because Google has already injected cash into HTC. Because if you remember a few years ago, they did a similar thing. They bought the engineering talent of HTC's smartphone business. Took a lot of their smartphone engineers
But
away.
Vive operates as an entirely separate company these days.
Yeah, I get that, but they bought the smartphone engineers for like 1.1 something like $1 billion, and now they're buying into HTC's XR business. So what's left of HTC?
Well, indeed. HTC does seem to be a company. I mean, I'm talk spitballing big picture here. HTC does seem to be a company that launches products, gets out early in the market, and then makes a lot of money selling their experience. And this has happened many times across many different industries, across many different types of technology. So it doesn't, in that regard, it doesn't really come as a shock to see it happen in XR. But once again, at one point, Vive was the pioneer, if not the leader, one of the leading companies in the space, and they are just not anymore. So yeah,
Those glory days of the original HTC Vive from 2016 feel like a long time ago.
So, obviously, everybody here is welcome to make up their own mind about how this impacts HTC and Vive moving forward. I sadly am a bit pessimistic, um, given that Vive, as I said repeatedly, just on this episode of the podcast, given how strong they were and are not really anymore, I am pessimistic about Vive's future in the space. Please prove me wrong, Vive. Please turn around and go, you know what? We've grown our team 4 times the size and we sold a fraction of it. We're great. I would love to hear that from you, Vive. But moving on, we've got more hardware, and this time with the big boys Meta, who are unquestionably leading the space.
Undoubtedly so. And this revolves around their smart glasses. Now, they've been in cahoots with Ray-Ban for a number of years now, and their smart glasses are doing very well by all accounts. And there's new rumors about what's next for this product, this division. A
Need
new
to interject here. This is not Orion we're talking about.
this is
Orion is still a way off.
no, this is not Orion. The Orion is an AR glass. They are AR glasses. We're talking about smart glasses. So a new Bloomberg report has come up with a few details about what the range may look like going into this year. There's going to be a sportier model with designed around Oakley.
Go faster stripes.
Yeah, goes fastest right. This is rather than the smart glasses that have cameras on each side that you can currently get with Ray-Ban. The Oakley model will actually have a central camera instead, designed for like cyclists and sports enthusiasts. The big news is plans to add a heads-up display into their glasses. So essentially, that next step into augmented reality. We've known about this for a little while, and the glasses are codenamed Hypernova. Well, supposedly they're going to be coming out later in 2025, but they are going to support a slightly higher price range because of that. These are going to be the real high-end premium models, and they're going to come in roughly around about $1,000. So if you want your smart glasses with a display, you're going to have to pay it some cash.
I mean, we've talked a lot about AR on this podcast and how it's stepping stones, and these smart glasses are essentially a stepping stone to true AR glasses. I think there's an audience for this kind of stuff,
Oh
but
yeah.
again, it's the price point is, yeah.
Again, it's going to be the people that don't mind spending, $3,000 on an Apple Vision Pro. So
Yeah. The
$1,000.
early adopters who are aware that they're going to spend $1,000 on these now, and they'll probably not be usable in 2 years' time.
Yeah, all the people that have bought the Ray-Ban smart glasses for $300-400, quite possibly won't jump another 600 to get a heads up
Depends how
display.
useful
But
they've been finding them. Depends how useful they've been finding them. Surely, if they've spent $400-500 on Ray-Bans and they're like, "This is the best product I've ever bought," maybe they will jump. Maybe they will go for that upgrade. I have spoken to a few people lately that have said they love their Ray-Bans glasses. So you never know. Maybe that is the audience they're going for.
they're obviously cooler than us, Kev.
Yeah, well, than you at least. Okay, moving on. This is an interesting one. So for the uninitiated, of which I'm sure there aren't many watching this podcast, but there is a prominent figure in XR, Palmer Luckey. Palmer Luckey was the inventor of the original Oculus Rift headset and the founder or co-founder of the company Oculus, which Facebook bought before they became Meta, and then have pivoted to design their entire business around this company they bought, Oculus, now called Meta. It's where the Oculus Rift came from. It's where the Meta Quest came from, formerly known as the Meta Quest line, formerly known as the Oculus Quest line. Big deal. This guy's a big deal. He's had some allegiances that have turned sour in the XR industry because of his politics. However, I want to say at this point, he was always very nice to me, and I have no beef with him. But the thing that is now is that he has been appearing at more and more XR events and hosting XR events of his own in VR, in which he is starting to talk about returning to the industry. And now it seems that is happening.
It does indeed, yes. Mr. Luckey is supposedly only a few weeks away from revealing his next XR headset. Now, he made a brief announcement last year at AWE 2024, saying that yes, he's currently working on some sort of XR headset, but he didn't reveal many details, just that he's working on it. And then in a Twitter thread, or sorry, X thread, last week, he revealed that yes, something more tangible is coming in the next few weeks. So we're going to hear what 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 he's going to be doing finally in XR again, which is good to hear. But there are, there's a lot of discussion about which way he's actually going to go because
Now, yeah, as I say, we're not here to discuss politics on this podcast, but a lot of belief is that it's going to be through his company Anduril and be a military-based headset. Again, not here to discuss politics, we're here to discuss XR. If it is pushing the boundaries of what XR can do, then why the hell not?
exactly. The other people have hypothesized that it could be a side project, like his recently released and sold out Mod Retro Chromatic, which is a rehash of the original Game Boy with new screens and new technology, but essentially being able to play your Game Boy games. But this was a complete side project that he did, and yeah, they're now actually quite hard to get hold of.
And they're very, yeah, you're right, they're very popular.
Yeah, and they've become very popular. So the other theory is that it might not be through Anduril, it might be a side project, but we don't know yet.
So that will be for later this week, I believe it's planned. Is that correct?
Well, he just said in the next few weeks, so
Okay.
it may be into February that we might hear something.
Okay. So keep your ear to the ground on that one. Palmer, if you want to DM me, I'm more than happy to hear what you're doing. And now we're going to wrap up with some gaming news, as we always do. And in the tail end after the holidays, there isn't much in the way of new releases or even much gaming news around. Obviously, CES is a tech show, not a gaming show. So one thing we do have to talk about is GeForce Now. We previously discussed on this podcast that it was coming, and now it's here. Yay.
Yeah, that's it. It launched last week, and you can now sign up for GeForce Now to play your PC games on your Quest 3, or if you've got a Pico, or if you've got an Apple Vision Pro. So yeah, that's essentially it. You can stream, you can use GeForce Now to play any of the PC games that you already own on platforms like Steam, Ubisoft Store, GOG, Epic Games Store as well. So if you own any games on there and they are compatible with GeForce Now, you can then play them on your headsets. Now there are tiers to GeForce Now as well. So there is a free tier, so you can just give it a go and try it out. There are also membership tiers as well. It depends on how much you want to then repay to replay your games. Kev?
Yeah, when we discussed GeForce Now before, it is arguably the superior cloud gaming platform available right now. I myself love Xbox Game Pass, but the quality of the streaming is not as high quality as GeForce Now. So if you are looking to that, if you believe that that cloud gaming is the future, then GeForce Now is probably your best bet, especially if you're a PC gamer. So yeah,
Yeah,
why the hell not try it VR?
yeah, it's one of those things where the free plan will get you the very bare basics. You'll get ads in it. You only get 1080p quality, and there are it's Nvidia says there are long queues to get in. The more you pay, the shorter those queues become, and you don't get ads. You then upgrade to the ultimate package. You get 4K HDR, you get RTX graphics, you get frame generation, you get the whole caboodle. But that is $20 a month, and you can pay daily, you can pay monthly, you can pay for a 6-month package. Not all of these packages are available at the moment. Some of the plans are being rolled out bit by bit as Nvidia tests the servers, so they're only allowing a certain amount of these plans to be available at the moment. But yeah, you can sign up and test out the free version at least.
Give it a go, eh? I'm sure we've all tried Xbox gaming on our Quest headsets now, so give it a go. Try for yourself. See which platform you prefer. Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. As always, we'll be back again next week. And if there are any stories in XR that you think should be featured on this podcast, or you have any news of your own that you'd like to share, please reach out to us at any of the millions of ways you can communicate with us. Linked down below, I believe.
All over the place.
All over. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.